Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, do me a favor. Just take a second right now to stretch your neck, maybe roll those shoulders back a bit, or, fix your posture. Yeah, odds are you probably really needed that, right? Look, in today's hyper-fast work environment, organizations all over the world are slamming into this massive growing wall, long-term sickness absence. We are talking about the snowball effect of rising stress levels, entirely sedentary work habits, musculoskeletal issues, and, well, you know that heavy, profound mental fatigue that hits you right around 3 p.m. on a Thursday? Yeah, that. It's taking a huge toll on our collective well-being, and it is just silently draining organizational productivity. And the economic losses from all that employee burnout, they are absolutely astronomical. But, what if we've just been overcomplicating the cure? What if a highly targeted 10-minute intervention during your actual working hours could make a massive, measurable dent in cutting down that sick leave? Honestly, it sounds almost too simple to be true, doesn't it? I mean, we're so conditioned to think that workplace wellness demands some massive lifestyle overhaul or, a wildly expensive corporate retreat.
Well, the data actually says otherwise. To really answer that question, we're digging into a truly groundbreaking study published in the journal Scientific Reports. And they didn't just casually survey a handful of people in one random office building. No, the researchers tracked a massive cohort of over 70,000 workers in Denmark. 70,000! That sheer scale completely anchors the credibility of this research. It gives us this incredibly compelling, rock-solid evidence to work with, rather than just throwing around anecdotal theories about what might make people feel a little bit better.
So, the researchers were specifically looking at the impact of something they call micro-exercise. And it's absolutely crucial we understand exactly what this means before we dig into the numbers. We're basically talking about brief, targeted physical sessions taking just 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. And here is the absolute genius differentiator. They happen right there at the workplace with minimal equipment. We are not talking about asking people to commute to a gym on their lunch break, or even forcing them to change out of their work clothes. It is designed from the ground up to be completely frictionless. Okay, let's dive into this and look at what these exercises actually look like in practice. And hey, don't worry, nobody's asking you to do burpees in the break room while wearing a blazer. We're talking about incredibly simple, accessible movements. Think basic resistance band pulls, straightforward stretching routines, targeted back exercises, shoulder strengthening, and just quick posture corrections. These are low-friction, super easy movements specifically designed to reverse the physical damage of being hunched over a keyboard all day, or, performing repetitive operational tasks on an assembly line. Now, here is where the data gets incredibly compelling. The study revealed that employees who actually participated in these short micro-exercise sessions during working hours experienced a 14% lower risk of long-term sickness absence compared to those who just didn't engage in them. Seriously, just take a second to process that number. A 14% drop in long-term sick leave just from spending maybe 30 to 45 minutes a total week doing simple stretches in work clothes. That is a staggering return on a very, very minimal time investment. Let's zoom out to the macroeconomic view for a second, because if you're a leader, a manager, or a policymaker, this right here is essentially your holy grail. The researchers estimated that if widespread adoption of workplace microexercise were actually implemented, up to 12.8% of all long-term sick leave cases could potentially be prevented altogether. That represents massive economic savings, reliably maintained productivity, drastically lower healthcare costs, and fundamentally just much happier, healthier people showing up to work every single day. Now you might naturally be wondering, okay, why not just give employees a gym stipend and tell them to stretch at home? Well, the researchers found something absolutely fascinating. The exact same positive effect was not observed when exercise programs were offered outside working hours. Pushing wellness to after work completely misses a crucial ingredient. Micro-exercise during the workday does something entirely different. It actively builds teamwork and dramatically improves adherence, really just because you're already there. And this brilliantly illustrates why the workplace environment itself is the actual secret weapon here. That crucial ingredient we just mentioned, it's your colleagues. When you exercise together with your team during the workday, it unlocks these incredible psychological and social benefits that you simply do not get sitting alone in your living room. We're talking about stronger teamwork, significantly improved motivation, and enhanced social interaction. Solitary after-hours workouts just can't compete with the powerful bonding experience of sharing a laugh with your team over some awkward shoulder stretches on a Tuesday afternoon.
Another really incredible strength of this approach is its complete inclusivity. The benefits highlighted in this data weren't just isolated to one specific demographic or some niche job title. The study proved that this works universally across all age groups, all educational backgrounds, and all genders. From a strategic and operational perspective, this means the strategy is perfectly adaptable. It literally works exactly as well for a team coding in a traditional corporate office as it does for a crew doing heavy lifting out on a physically demanding construction site. So you have to ask, are companies actually doing this? Well, in Denmark, participation in workplace exercise programs began to steadily increase around 2012, and we saw that growth continuing beautifully right through 2018. Yet despite this crystal clear, scientifically supported data, global adoption remains a massively untapped opportunity. Many organizations out there are still paralyzed by perceived barriers, things like a supposed lack of time, limited internal awareness, or honestly just an outdated corporate culture that frowns upon stepping away from the keyboard for 10 measly minutes. But overcoming those barriers is actually remarkably straightforward. If you're a leader looking to deploy this low-cost, high-return strategy, here is your rapid-fire action plan. First, make it official. Physically schedule dedicated 10-minute wellness breaks so people actually know they have permission. Next, encourage team-based sessions to harness that incredible social power we talked about and provide simple tools like resistance bands. Appoint wellness ambassadors to enthusiastically lead the charge. Support your managers in actually promoting employee well-being. And finally, just weave it right into your organizational culture. Make stretching the norm, not the exception. Which brings us to a final, pretty critical thought. We constantly see organizations pouring millions of dollars into advanced technologies, digital transformation, and all this process optimization software while completely ignoring their absolute most valuable asset, human health. Seeing the clear data on exactly how effective microexercise is at preventing burnout and long-term absence, the question really isn't whether you have the time to implement it. The real question is, can your organization afford not to spare 10 minutes? Just think about the immense return on investment of making that tiny, tiny daily commitment.